you doing, y'all? Welcome to Confidence. On today's podcast, we are going to be diving deep into my situation once again. You love that. I know you love it. Honestly, we had a very serious conversation last night. And I think I kind of almost put the situation on the rocks. So let's just say that. And I'm really just in this weird place in terms of just being in a bind in terms of how I want to proceed forward. And you guys have known this. I've been talking about it for weeks on this podcast. I'm still processing the way that I feel. And hopefully what I could do is process a little bit of my feelings live with you on the podcast, maybe get some insight on how I'm feeling and how I'm thinking as a guy. And just, I feel like for all of us, when it comes to any type of relationship, and especially when it comes to a long distance relationship, I think this is going to give you a really good insight and self-reflection. Now, the other thing is I did also include, I put up a story on Instagram the other day, and it was, is he just not that into you, or is he playing hard to get? And obviously, if you're questioning it, it's probably questionable to begin with. But some of you guys wrote in some scenarios. I'm going to list some of those scenarios off, and hopefully maybe we could work through this together. I also had a coaching call today that I want to kind of talk about a little bit, her situation when it comes to a guy that she's been really talking to, where I do feel like it's a situation where he's at a place where I think the woman does need to be patient. So we're going to talk about that, right? What are the places that you should be patient in a relationship as, a woman? Or what are the places where you should, maybe put the boundaries on, or maybe, hold them accountable for the things that you fucking need. So, all right, let's get into it. As always, I'm going to start off with the things that are most relevant to me right now. And that is my situation. Honestly, I would say all of this started with a crazy call with my therapist on Tuesday. So this week, I was having a good week. Things are fine, moving along. Just, it is what it is. Get on the phone with my therapist. And, here's what's interesting is sometimes therapy is good, but there's other times where therapy really fucks your shit up. It makes you think way too much. And I think that's what happened this week, honestly, with me, where I got onto that call. I rehashed with her the story that I told last week about the deleted text messages. And that's on the previous podcast if you haven't listened to it. We went through it. Obviously, she was definitely questioning me, and she was pushing back on me. It's make sure this girl's being honest and all these things. And, that's the thing is I understand her skepticism behind her. But the thing is also when you're speaking to somebody like a therapist or whoever, right, they're getting you for an hour. It is very hard for them to get the full story. And I know this personally, just being a coach, right? Sometimes when the people that I'm working with are telling me their scenarios, sometimes we're talking through a problem and I'm kind of giving them a little bit of feedback. And then they'll give me additional details towards the end of the call that make me go, oh, wait. Wait a minute. You didn't tell me that. That was actually very important to the story. Or, there's things that you just feel and see that when you describe them with words, how that person, how my therapist interprets it and receives it and gives that feedback. I mean, it's very difficult. My whole point is no one is right about their perception about a situation, right? The way that you're thinking about it and the way that you're intuitively seeing it, it's nice to get an outside perspective, but ultimately you are the judge, right, of your situation. That being said, I think it is really important to get that outside perspective. But the problem with that is she really rocked me, because I think in a lot of ways I was venting to her about how I was struggling with the long distance and just telling her how, as much as I love this situation, I gave her the whole backstory, the deleted text and the things like that. I'm like, the other part of this is past that, situation, it's just hard, plain and simple. It's not easy. It's, you have it, but you don't. That's the best way I like to describe it. It's I have this great person, but the only times I have you is really over the phone. And to be honest, yes, that feels good, but I'm not really living a very colorful life. And I think what's happening is is not only am I not feeling like satisfied or satiated in that area, right? Not being able to see my woman, not being able to fuck my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. Like, I'm a fucking man. You know what I'm saying? There's only so many times I can FaceTime you and, you know, think about the good think about the good vibes and fucking let a nut go in my shower before I'm like, dude, like I'm you know, I want to touch you. I want to feel you. But honestly, beyond that, like, it's really not even about that. It's just about the experiences in general, right? Like, my life is predominantly over the phone to begin with. I work from home. I talk to people on the phone for my job. Like, I want that in-person experience. And I think it's so different. Like, it's just such a different vibration. It fills up my cup in such a different way when I'm spending time with people in person. Social media and talking to somebody over the phone, right? Like, you know, it's great, but in a lot of ways, it could be draining a lot. So that's obviously just the way I've been feeling a lot about this situation. And it's just, you know, it's at that point. It's at that point where I'm just like getting really frustrated, and I've been frustrated. I mean, you guys have heard me on this, and, you know, I'm obviously replaying this to my therapist. And, you know, honestly, if you want me to just give the real feedback that she gave me was, you know, you have this person long distance where, guess what? Like, you know, she could potentially be a great partner, but you still don't really know, which is true. Obviously, there are times where sometimes I do feel like my personality needs to be edited, right, with her. And then also, I think the biggest thing is, like, the way that I'm showing up online is kind of edited as well, right? Like, the experiences that I'm having in person are not with this girl. And it's like me going to the gym or me doing things in person, but I can't really talk about like girls or things that I'm doing in person. Not like I'm fucking around, to be honest. I have no interest in being with somebody else. I have no interest in, you know, even looking at somebody in that way. Although when that person is not here, right? Like, what else am I left with? You know what I'm saying? It's almost just like the experiences I have is talking to this person on the phone, then shutting it down, not doing really much because I'm not really going out as much and I'm not having those experiences. And then if I do have these little moments where like I lock eyes with somebody, or, you know, I have a stupid thing over text or DM or something, like, you know, I can't really describe those things. Now, maybe I'm just making fucking excuses. And maybe that's a lot of the way that I'm feeling right now is I'm not staying focused on my goals. But honestly, I'm just not feeling this satisfied, you know, from the distance and from being in a relationship where it really is just over the phone. And again, you know, back to the thing with my therapist, it's just like, I'm technically showing up online very edited too, because the other thing is I want to talk about this person. I want to show off my girl. I want to have experiences with my girl. I want to be out at the mall doing stuff or going to dinner. Honestly, most of my content ideas come from experiences. They come from really good conversations. They come from doing different things with my friends. And obviously I think I need to be doing more of that just for myself. But in general, it's like, you know, my partner, my person is my main source of that. You know, to be honest, like historically, my content comes a lot from my relationships and the people that I'm around. And if this is the way that it's going to be, again, it's like, it's really just difficult because it's like, I can't really show off this relationship because we're not there yet. And she's also not really here. So what am I really going to talk about? Our phone conversations? How many times am I going to talk about this shit on the fucking podcast? You know what I'm saying? The long distance, right? Like, how many times am I going to fucking bring this shit up? Nothing is changing. And then on top of that, again, it's not like I'm gaining new experiences or shooting my shot or flirting with other people or doing these things, because I do respect her and I do want, and honestly, I really enjoy speaking with her and being around her. But again, I don't have that. So I guess to my therapist's point is this, she faced me with this question and she said, would you rather stay in this and kind of live this edited life and kind of just see where it goes, and potentially maybe one day down the line you guys actually move and get together and be in the same place, which is also another conversation we're trying to have right now. But you understand what I'm saying? How the fuck is she supposed to do that? How are we supposed to rearrange our lives where we both fly across the country and move? It's not easy. So, and she was like, do you want to live this life where it feels edited? You're not in a situation where it's making you happy because of the long distance, but there's a chance that this person could potentially be great. Or you take the risk of not being with this person and you potentially meet somebody there who is still in alignment with you. And meanwhile, in the meantime, you could still go back to just speaking your mind freely and doing what you want freely and gaining those experiences in person. And I was just like, damn, like, you know, it's like if I had to pick and I'm looking at that side by side, I'm like, I don't know. I probably feel like maybe what I'm doing is I'm staying in something comfortable and I'm avoiding the uncomfortable. And I've talked about it on this podcast, how sometimes the uncomfortable is the right thing to do. You know, most of the time it really is, right? The way to expand myself, the way to get myself out of the rut that I feel like I'm feeling when it comes to my content and the things that I'm doing is I need to start doing things differently than I have been doing this entire time. And what I feel like is happening is I'm mentally being so consumed by this relationship, you know, just because I feel like I'm missing this person. And then also I'm talking to this person, but again, it's not like she's not independent and is doing too much. She's not that at all. She's really great about that. She has her own life. She's doing her own thing, but it's like, why am I not living a full life for something that is more of a pen pal, you know? So obviously I took this momentum. The thing is, she was on a ski trip with her brother on Tuesday when I kind of came to this realization, even though I've been feeling this for a while. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to eat the feelings for now. And I'm going to talk to her when she gets back. I had to wait till Thursday to have this conversation with her. We have this conversation. I'm just going back and forth. When I see this girl on FaceTime, you guys don't get it. Like, honestly, I think she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever been with in my life, honestly. And she's so natural. You know what I'm saying? No work done. Zero. No tits. No like fucking filler. None of that. No lip injections. No Botox. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, just naturally one of the most beautiful people I've probably ever seen. Seriously. And that also makes it hard, you know? But on top of that too, like when I do interact with her, you know, I do feel like that's like currently like one of my best friends, you know, like from a standpoint of like just being in a relationship where it's truly healthy and the communication's on point, like, yeah, we definitely have our moments. And yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, do I feel like I've had more goofier connections with people in the past? Definitely. Better, you know, some good banter with other partners compared. Yeah, probably. But when it comes to like a life partner, when it comes to like, I am at peace and I am happy. Like when we are together, all I need to do is be in her presence. That's it. And even honestly, sometimes she's sitting there, she's bitching about work and I know it's coming. And honestly, I'm not the type to like be in that type of energy. So that's also different from me too, is like, you know, naturally, I think me and her are kind of different people, to be honest. She likes country music. I like house music. She's more serious. I'm more playful. You know, she's just takes things a little bit more literally. She's a little bit more serious. But when it really comes down to it, when we are both relaxed and we are both together, there's just a presence between us that is so calming and chill. And like, it almost feels like I'm very content. Honest, swear. Like I truly feel content with her energy and her presence. Just the hard part is like, I don't experience that a lot, you know, like I love, you know, having the phone, but it would just be such a different ball game to get to know her deeper and deeper and deeper, you know, if we were having those experiences in person. And that's what's so hard. And that's the thing is like, I'm on FaceTime with this girl trying to tell her that like, I can't do long distance. And, you know, I'm looking at her in the face and I can't, it's like, I can't even tell her, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to tell her that I can't do this anymore. I'm like, how do you tell somebody that you really do fucking real? I honestly, I have so much love for this girl. It's honestly insane. Like literally, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I got emotional, you know, like how do you tell somebody that that's what I'm trying to say is like, I really do view in that way, like in such a high light that she's so sweet and she's so kind and somebody I do want around me, that the situation is making me unhappy. It's not you. It's not that you're not good enough. And that's what's so hard, is because she comes to visit me, the days that she can visit me, and she feels like she's not enough for me. And I'm like, it's not that you're not enough. It's just like being in this situation where we're so fucking far is not satiating. It doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that you are not good enough. It's just like the situation is not good enough. So how do you tell somebody that you really care about to their face directly? Like, you know what I mean? Like her fucking sweet brown eyes, and she's getting like sad and emotional, and then she's like crying and tearing up. Like, I can't watch that. I can't look at that girl, feel like that, and tell her that I don't want to talk to her, because I do want to talk to her. I just feel like the boundaries that we've put on things and just the way that things are right now, it's so fucking hard. And, as much as those moments are really hard when we're interacting like that and, we're feeling that way, whether we move past it or not, like the truth of the matter is a lot of our conversations are hard. And the only reason that they're hard conversations is because of the resentment that starts to build up in my bones because I'm not near her. Right? We have so many hard conversations, not because of the behavior that is happening between each other. It's not a lack of trust. It's just strictly like, I'm resenting the fact that I can't be around you. I'm resenting just only being on a FaceTime. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my problem is like, I told her, it's like two immovable objects. It's like, I fucking love you, but I don't want to be in a long distance relationship. And it's just colliding. And so I'm sitting here right now processing. And honestly, by the end of the call, though, I really did end it because she was getting frustrated with me. She's like, I got to sleep. I can't do this. And I'm like, I hate doing this to you. I'm done doing this to you. I'm done fucking telling you that I'm unhappy. I don't want to tell you that. You don't deserve that. And I don't want to keep bringing it up. I don't want to keep talking about it. But honestly, the way that I'm showing up for myself right now, I'm not authentically portraying myself out there to the people, my job, the thing that I care about as well. I feel like, me personally, I do feel sad. I do miss this girl. I don't want to live a life where I'm missing you all the time, where majority of our relationship is me missing you and missing your presence. But understanding and knowing that your presence fucking makes me so happy. But the reality is the writing on the wall? You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is, and I think this is a hard part for everybody when it comes to dating and relationships in general, is, we all face sometimes this situation where we meet somebody, the chemistry is fire, we think they're very attractive, they are showing up for us, but there's something there. There's a value difference, and a big one. And when I say value difference, I'm not talking about between me and her. It could be situational. Like, I've had clients where everything was in alignment. Like, I've had people where like, it was my best relationship. Everything was really good. But he was Jehovah's Witness and I was Christian. And they can't work past it. There is just something underneath that is such a big deal to that person and to the other person that everything else could be in alignment. But if that one thing is not there, it's not there. And it's like, am I going to accept that, or am I going to continue to try to push through this discomfort and try to, I don't know. Like, cause that's the thing is like, that's what's crazy is next week she could be here for 6 days, but then it's like, we do that for 6 days. Let's say it goes really well. And then we go right back to what we're doing. It's like, is that sustainable? And I guess that's the other part of me too, is like, I could then go back there by the end of the month. And then I'm like, wow, you're traveling here. I'm traveling there. We're doing a lot. Can I sustain the things that I'm doing when it comes to work? Can I sustain my lifestyle flying back and forth? And you got to think about those things too. And then I'm like, all right, how long until we do actually make a move like that? And we're not even insecure in the actual relationship to even know that we want to fucking do that yet. And then who's responsible for making that move? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to go back to New York. Keeping it real. Like, I don't really want to make that move. And now I can't force you to do that either. So what am I doing? Am I forcing you to make that decision? And I'm telling you I'm turning around and then being like, no, well, actually, you need to come here and you need to come here fast. How the fuck is that fair? So this is just one of those situations where, you could really love somebody and you could really have a lot in common and a great relationship. But if something's in the way, something is also in the way. Honest. And it's hard because we try to work around it. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I guess the option for me is like, you continue to work around it, but like, I've been trying to work around it for months. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, that same feeling just keeps coming up every day that I'm here, right? And I'm not with you. I come home. I don't come home to you. I go to bed. I don't go to bed with you. I go to the gym. I come home. I want to tell a story. I want to get dinner. I get it by myself. Plain and simple. And that's what I'm trying to say is I could keep living in this fantasy world, but what is the reality of the relationship? The reality is what I've been living. That's what I'm trying to say. It is the way it is. I can't mentally change the situation. So we haven't talked, and like, the other thing too is I've really been processing my feelings a lot. And here's something that I said today that I feel like can give you a little bit of insight to how I'm feeling. Also to maybe like how I communicate in this particular situation. Obviously she texted me. She's like, I haven't stopped thinking about you. She's like, I couldn't sleep. And honestly, I couldn't really sleep either. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, that's what's so hard about all of this too, is like, I feel like my whole mind is dominated by it and I'm trying to let it go. But here's the one thing, like when it comes to my quote unquote, my job, when it comes to helping clients and working with people and coaching one-on-one, I can do that while still feeling this way. It's not taking me away from completely, like, you know what I'm saying? I can still operate and do things. I can still go to the gym. I can still eat a healthy meal. I can still cook. I can still clean. But the one thing I can't do when I'm in this mood is create content. And that's the only thing about creating content and being in that. Like, you need to be in such a good state of mind to be able to create stuff. And especially from the stuff that I want to create, when I want to create goofy shit, I want to create stuff that makes people laugh. I can't make people laugh when I'm not feeling that way myself. And that's what makes this even harder, because I feel like it compounds the issue, because it feels like the thing that I care about the most, which is also the people that I feel like, not that I have a responsibility to, but that I want to show up for. That's my dream. Like, that's my livelihood. I want to be online. I want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be goofy. I want to be funny. I don't want to have this attitude. I don't want to feel like this. So that's the other thing about this too, is like, is this really sustainable? Because I can't keep feeling like this. I can't keep having my thoughts dominated by this. I have to find a clear path. I think it also comes down to me knowing, okay, is this my person? But how the fuck do you know that if you don't fucking spend time with each other? Long story short, by the end of the last conversation last night, obviously there was tears on both sides. I'm not going to lie to you. I shed a couple tears and, just trying to work through it with her. But the thing is, like, I'm just talking to her and I'm just doing what I'm doing right now, which is like, I'm processing these things. But for her, she's, she wants to see things through. She wants to, work on this and see each other more and figure out how to make things happen. But obviously, again, she can't make any of those decisions right now either. So it really comes down to, do I want to proceed? Do I want to keep moving forward with this situation and, do the best I can to maybe present this part of my life? And I'm doing it here on the podcast. But I think what kills me is that, like, on my regular account, like, it just sucks because I don't want to feel like this. And honestly, I've been looking for stability for so long. I'm not joking. If you guys have been following me for a really long time, I've been in 4 or 5 straight long distance relationships. Like, I am at my wit's end. Like, I just want stability. I just want to be able to come home to somebody. I just want to be able to share my time with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. It feels so good with this person. But again, when you're not here, it's just like, it's not the same. It's just not. And that's the other thing about processing feelings. It's very weird because I'm just like, I'm ready to make a decision and it's like, I want to, And maybe the right choice really is, I don't think there is one. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there is really a wrong or a right answer here, right? It's like, just do you feel like doing it or do you not? And I think maybe what I need to do then is maybe just spend some time with myself and with my friends and the things that I'm doing here and get back into like my own routine of doing things outside of the relationship and kind of just feel how that feels, maybe without it for a half a second. And maybe just not talking and texting so much and just kind of see how that feels and like see how my life, is. But obviously at some point or another, I'm just going to have to be honest with myself if I can do that. And I think right now, obviously it's not looking that way. And yeah, that's fucking kind of ass, honestly. And that's the thing too. It's like, my friend asked me today, she was like, oh, like, do you go to the gym and like, do you want to like fuck a girl or something like that? I'm like, no, honestly, no. I'm not even really getting those feelings. Like, yeah, I mean, yes, I'm a fucking dude, right? Like, of course, if I see like a hot chick, like maybe in a moment, I'd be like, yeah, sure. If she just wanted to fuck, like, like, yeah, I guess so. Fuck it. But I'm also not like, I'm just at the point in my life where I do want something real. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I really do not care. I really don't. I'm ready for something real. Truly. I'm not joking about that. Honest. Don't need multiple people. Don't need to be chasing cooch. Like, don't really care about going after girls that are out there just like fucking around, partying. Like, I don't need that energy in my life. Like if that's her lifestyle and that's what she's doing right now, like, I don't even want a part of it. You know what I'm saying? I just want a nice, calm, and that's what I really like about this girl. Really chill, wholesome girl, like just for me and you, we live our life together, enjoy that shit. Let's have some fun. I'm not saying let's not be adventurous. I think I want somebody that could be goofy with me, and just enjoy every day, like, and do fun shit together. Go to the fucking pool, like go fucking on a hike. I don't know, get some bomb ass food, fuck around, go hang out, go to the club, do some Molly. I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm down to still adventure and have a good time with my person. But that's the thing is like, I just want something that's for me. I don't, that's what I'm trying to say is like chasing all of that, like is not exciting to me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just want one really fucking good person. Seriously. Just the idea of like needing multiple, it's just doesn't do it for me anymore. So like when it comes to that aspect where it's like, oh, you just want to be a dog or like you just want to be single, I'm like, that's not really what it is. Like I no, I just really want to be happy every day. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be in a stable situation. I don't want to be in a long distance situation. I don't want, as I'm saying, it's like, it's like I have it, but I don't. So I'm like, yeah, it's great. Sure. But if you're not here, you're not here. And maybe I just need to come to terms with that. Maybe I just need to follow through with that and just be uncomfortable again. It's just like, sometimes I'm like, the other piece of me is like, damn, I've been so avoidant for so long. Like, just stick through it. But also at the same time, it's like, I just got to recognize, like, I don't know. I know these things are never going to be perfect, but I think it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard. I think what I really need to do is just go hang out with my friends, enjoy my life a little bit, just relax. That's what I've been doing. I've just been relaxing. I've been trying to do stuff for myself, get into that headspace of just being calm and just doing things and just being in my own energy. Something that's been really bothering me lately too is I've had really bad like comparison to, people online. And something I've like really been trying to combat. And I think one of my biggest hurdles I'll ever have to overcome in this life is fucking envy and jealousy. And it's not like a deep rooted like hatred. It's how that comparison of others makes me feel about myself. So it's not that I hate you. It's not that I see somebody doing well and I'm like, oh my God, fuck you. It's not that. I would never say something negative to somebody. Like, I don't really even believe in that, to be honest. Like, I'm actually happy that you have found something that works. I'm happy that you are showing that type of effort, but I think when I see somebody putting all this effort, showing up online, feeling really confident, feeling really happy, just bringing that full self, it's really interesting for me because I'm just like, there's definitely times in my life where I really feel like that, but then there's just others where like, dog, it is fucking hard. And I mean, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I mean, I've had a lot of moments like this. I mean, I had a lot of ups and downs in the last like couple months. I mean, I've had some things happen to me that is very out of the ordinary. I did blow out my Achilles tendon. Like that didn't really help. Not being able to walk for a little while kind of sucked. I'm still like rehabbing it and stuff. But then just on top of that too, I feel like the landscape of what I want right now has really changed. And it's really weird. I think I'm at this place in my life right now where the things that I want from life are rapidly changing. The things that I maybe saw for myself a couple years ago, I don't think that the overarching dream has changed. I just feel like it almost doesn't feel like I'm very comfortable just being that freewheeling, goofy version of myself right now. And it's very weird because, there's just times in life where I feel like I'm fighting that. But I think a lot of that is a result of the relationships that I'm in. Honest. I feel like the relationship you're in really dictates, again, a lot of the consistency in your life. And that's what I'm trying to say is like the inconsistency that I face here. And again, it's not an inconsistency of her effort. It's an inconsistency of what I'm getting in my relationship. I feel like I'm accepting less than what I really want. And I feel like a lot of us feel like that, right? Anybody that I've ever worked with client-wise, really the major issue is, what they're getting in their relationship. Really, it goes down to the simple equation. What people are getting in their relationship, they know that they want something deeper, or they know that they want something more, but they just can't seem to fight the comfort and the attachment that is preventing them from finding that. And honestly, a lot of that is underlying beliefs about self. And maybe that's where I'm at right now too, where it's like, I need to check in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not really valuing myself appropriately, but maybe, what happens is what's interesting is the confidence that you seek in yourself is on the other side of the uncomfortable actions that you are unwilling to take, or that you want to take but are not. You get what I'm saying? So you're like, okay, I want to be more self-confident when it comes to relationships, or I want better boundaries. I'm like, start setting fucking boundaries. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it, actually, is you need to set the boundary. And I think for me, maybe that's kind of where I'm at too, where it's like, I kind of look at this situation right now as me being comfortable with what I have, and thinking, wow, I really like this person. I think she's really great. But the part that I'm staying in, like that's the part that's really comfortable for me though. The uncomfortable answer is, well, you also aren't feeling satisfied on a day-to-day basis because she's not here. So are you going to be willing to set that boundary? Are you going to be willing to let go of something that is super good and again, not harming you and is showing up for you because you are wanting to invest into something that is more in alignment with what I want? And that's the hard choices that we all need to make, right? Is, are you willing to set that boundary with that person, even though you know that it's giving you stuff that you really like? That's what I'm trying to tell you about this whole thing in general, right? It's like you could really have a lot of what you want. And I think that's where we really all get caught up. I think there's a famous quote, and I always give it to the people I'm working with. And I'm like, the biggest enemy of best is good. Do you understand that? The biggest enemy of best is good. It's not things that are bad. It's things that are good, but they're not the best, right? So that's what happens is when you get 80% of what you want, or you get an 85, hey, pretty good. 85. I'd run around and be like, hey, B+ everyone. But what kind of life do you want to live? Because if you're an A+er and you get a B+, it's all about perspective, right? If you want everything that you want, can you settle for B+? It's really easy to, because you're like, hey, fuck it. You know what? I worked really hard. I tried. And it gave me this. And I've done so much work to get to that B+. Feels pretty good. But if you're an A+ student, what happens? Do you gotta crumple up the essay and write it again? And I guess that's where I'm at kind of right now. It's like right now I'm in a B+ situation. You know, it's good. I like it. She's awesome. She's gorgeous. And she communicates. Ooh, and she's honest. Beautiful human being once again. But the situation right now, is it an A+? No, it's not. No, it's not. So I don't know. Maybe that's a hard look in the mirror I got to make. But maybe what I'm trying to tell you is maybe if I make this choice, then maybe that does lead to better results. Maybe I can show up more consistently online, unedited online, because I have that freedom again. And I don't feel the need, and I don't have to talk to this person, as often as I do. And I could create more experiences here, which might fill up my cup, which might make me live a more colorful life, which might make me feel a lot better. Or the other solution is I just convince her to move out here in the next month. And I see her a bunch and we hang out and, Merry fucking Christmas, and we go fucking hard. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think there's a wrong answer. But again, I think the lessons here are a few things. Number one, if you're not in perfect alignment, guess what? Whatever you sweep under the rug, it's still under the fucking rug. You could fucking try to vacuum that bitch and you're going to clunk into shit. My whole point. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be there. If you don't address it and you don't change it, you got to accept it, or I don't know. That's the thing though. It's like, if it's a true value difference, y'all can have the best relationship in the world. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a problem. So, and that's what's happening right now. It's a fucking problem. And the second thing is like, the shit that you want is right on the outside of your comfort zone. Honest. The uncomfortable actions. We talk about this. Woo. So fucking real. Really. So I'll update you guys on how this all works out. I don't feel the greatest right now, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? This is part of life. I'm in a down little moment. I'm going to find my purpose again. And just to touch on that one more time, like, I feel like that's a lot of the reason I'm feeling this way too, is I'm not within my purpose. And honestly, I feel very weird on what that really looks like. Like, I'm here, I'm helping you. This podcast, mwah, lovely. I'm good at it. I feel great. I love the stuff that I'm delivering here. But when it comes to me making that short form content, like just the funny in the moment, goofy stuff, that's the shit where I'm really fucking puzzled right now. I'm like, man, I do not know who I am. I don't know who I want to show up as. Like, maybe I should make a skit. Maybe I should talk on the camera. I'm like, dude, I couldn't fucking tell you. So listen, if you got suggestions, you let me fucking know. And if you want to come here and be my assistant and make some videos with me, honestly, I just need friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I need experiences and shit. If that's you, come on board. I would love to have you. I'm also looking for another assistant to join the team. So if you are interested in any way, would love to have you. So think about that. All right, let's get into something a little bit lighter and a little bit more fun. Okay, so this week on my Instagram story, I asked you guys, is he playing hard to get, or is he just not that into you? And I wanted to get some scenarios from y'all. So here we go. He turns the story around and says that I'm the one that's not ready for a relationship. That's top tier gaslighting. That's sick. He said he turns the story around and says that I'm not the one who's not ready. He's like, you're not ready, actually. He's like, I want one. You don't want one. You're not ready. And then she's like, yes, I do. And he's like, no, you're not fucking ready yet. Don't fucking tell me you're ready when you're not fucking ready. All right. I know somebody who's ready when I see it, and it's not you. So no, we will not be in a relationship, but we will still fuck and we will still hang out and we will still talk every day, but you're not ready. All right. I'm going to tell you when you're ready for this relationship. That's honestly insane. That's pretty funny. Unless here's the thing. The only way that this is valid is if you're like I don't know, just doing some wild shit. Like maybe your behavior really is super erratic. Like maybe you're fucking just out here like partying all the time, like hooking up with a bunch of dudes, or I don't know, just doing some crazy shit. Like maybe you're emotionally unavailable and you're showing that to him somehow. Maybe he's fucking, I don't know, maybe he's a relationship guru and he could just tell that you're not ready. But more than likely, he's probably just telling you that, and it's maybe him just projecting. But honestly, if somebody was telling me this, right, and they were saying, you're not the one that's not ready for a relationship, and I was ready for a relationship, why don't you just be like, okay, let's date right now. I'm ready right now. No. I'm actually, look him dead in the face and just be like, no, I am ready. Let's go. Actually, do you want to be my boyfriend? You should ask him, do you want to be my boyfriend? Yes or no? Because like if you're staying around for this, I don't get it, to be honest, right? Like if he's telling you that and you know you want one, like just be like, yes, I do want one actually. You're wrong, but all right. I guess that's the situation you're fucking sitting in. All right, this one's just wild. We hung out 40 times in 4 months, but haven't took me on a date yet. Jesus Christ. You are getting fucking, you're getting fucked. But like literally, like that's fucking awesome. 40 times. First off, you counted. That's kind of sick. You've hung out 40 times. First off, the fact that you're tallying, but you've banged. Maybe you haven't banged, but hung out 40 times and you haven't been on a date? That's wild. Whew. Talk about a free sample from Costco. Imagine if your coochie was on like a little fucking toothpick and you were standing in Costco and there was 40 of your little coochies on like a little tray and he's just sitting there and he's just fucking eating them in front of your face. That's how I'm envisioning this relationship going. He's just sitting there with the toothpick and just eating your coochie. One at a time, free sample, one at a time. And then you're sitting there at the end of it. All of your coochies are gone off the toothpicks and the tray. And you're looking at him like, dude, do you like me or not? He's like, I haven't paid for a single thing. What you mean? Like, this was great. I mean, I'm enjoying this relationship. He's like, you're not? And you're sitting there, you're like, well, a date would be pretty nice. You're like, yeah, $1 would be nice. I'll take $1 for the 40 coochies I've just given you for free. Oh, okay. I mean, honestly, a date is the minimum at this point. I mean, I hope he takes you for one dinner for all of that. That'd be nice. All right. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Says he likes me, but is hinge dating because he's not ready for me yet. He said, you know what? Stand right there. Let me go fuck all these other girls really quick. You stay right there. I do like you a lot. I'm just not ready for you yet. All right. You're the final boss. Let me play a couple games over here and I'll come get you. Listen, sweetheart. Here's the thing. At least he's being honest. Here's the thing. A lot of times we bash on these men, right? But the reality is a lot of time, ladies, like, let's be honest, like you're creating something out of nothing. That's what you're doing here. He's telling you what it is. He said, I'm not ready for you yet, but I want to go on a bunch of hinge dates. If you sit there as like the fucking backup option, I mean, think about that. He's pretty much telling you, hey, give me a little bit. He might not be lying. He might think that you're a pretty dope person and maybe he does want to just be single. Fair. But what do you want? That's what I'm saying. This is your life too. It's not just about what he wants. If you want something real, go find it. Because it's not him right now. Timing matters. Timing fucking matters. And that's what's the unfortunate part, right? Like, think about my situation. It all matters. It all matters. Location matters. Timing matters. Religious values matter. Money matters. Children matter. Family matters. All of this shit matters. It all matters. If something is not in alignment where they are in their dating journey versus where you are in your dating journey, if they are in the mode where they want to have freedom and be single, that's where they want to be. They could tell you that you're the coolest motherfucker of all time and that they would date you, but it's not about what you would be doing. And the same thing with my situation. It's not about, if she was here, it would be great. if you're not here, you're not here. If you're not that person's person yet, then you're not their person. And that's a lot of what dating is. It's like, fuck, we gotta wax off the fucking romanticism. We gotta wax off the glamorization. We gotta wax off the hope. We gotta wax off just the story that we're telling ourselves of the future. Because we're creating the narrative of happiness to come instead of being happy in the present moment. And honestly, it's the only thing you can control. You can't control what time that guy's going to be ready and if he's ever going to be ready. And honestly, by sitting on the sidelines and letting him do that and then just waiting, is he even going to value as the girl in the front anyways? Is he even going to value as the girl that he wants to date anyways? That's the thing. You got to have your boundaries on point to keep it real. Think about that. Oh, and speaking of this type of situation, and now that we're talking about how everything matters, right? Before I get to the other ones. So I've had a client who, this was her situation. And maybe some of you guys can relate to it, but her scenario was there's this guy that she met a month ago. Things were hot and heavy from the jump. Boom, boom, boom. Hanging out every day, texting, calling, you name it. All green flags though. No red flags, right? It wasn't like, he was doing shady shit. None of that. One day, ex comes into the bar and throws a scene, right? Not her ex, the guy that she's talking to's ex comes in, throws a scene. So this guy was actually just in a 4-year relationship 3 months ago. So 3 months ago, he had just gotten out of his 4-year relationship with this girl. That's the girl that showed up at the bar and freaked the fuck out. She bugged the fuck out on this dude. Now, he didn't really care and he was trying to avoid it, but the situation kind of scared him a little bit. And what happened is he ends up telling this girl that I'm working with, and he's like, listen, like, to be honest, like, I need a little bit of time. I need some time. Like this situation, that happening made me realize that I just need a little bit of a moment. So that's the thing. That's kind of confusing, right? The person I'm working with is like, whoa, there's been all green flags for a whole month. And now all of a sudden you want to like slow down and not be in something serious. Whoa, I'm tripping. Now I'm freaking out. But here's the deal. She set her boundaries, said, hey, listen, like if that's what you need to do, okay, then I can't be in your life, right? Like you need to go figure it out. He ends up texting her about, 4 days later of no contact. He's like, hey, I miss you. I still want to do this. They end up seeing each other and he tells her like, listen, like I just need some patience. Honestly, like I just need some time. I do want to be with you. Now, in this situation, it's hard, right? On one hand, she's like, well, I do want something serious and like it's hard for me to wait, right? She's been single for a little bit. And of course, I think a lot of women and honestly, a lot of people in general, like we want that security, right? We want that comfort of the relationship. Of course we all want that. And we want to hold our boundaries to that. So we're usually very strict about that. But this was a situation where I was like, listen, you just hung out with him for a month, right? You guys were hanging out every single day. Obviously, that was comfortable for him because he was just in a relationship like that. You guys really did move very fast. That probably was way too fast for somebody coming out of a situation like that. And she did a really good job of holding her boundaries. But that's what I'm trying to say. This is a situation where I actually think you do need to be patient. I actually do think this is a situation. It's not that he's playing hard to get, but there's just a time where there are circumstances that maybe allow you to be more patient with a partner that might say, okay, you know what? Guess what? He's been green flags. He says that he does want to do this, but he just needs some time and he needs some patience. All right, figure out what that means. Does patience mean you need to be single? Because if you need to be single, then we don't need to do all this. But if patience means you still want to be with me and you still want to build this relationship, but just more slowly, then we can do that. So there are actually times where somebody might be telling you they need more time or they need more patience where it actually does make sense. And again, only knowing each other for a month, like really, we still need it. We have a lot of time to figure out who this person is. But again, this is why dating and a lot of these things are sometimes complicated. It's not very easy. Each person's situation can really dictate the feelings in the relationship. And again, things can be all green flags. You could have a lot in common. You could have a lot that you're really doing, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes these things do come up. So, patience in that situation. But yes, that was a scenario where I would say, oh no, actually, I would give that situation time. I would actually be patient with that situation and say, no, maybe let's figure out if we can actually work on this, because apparently he is a good guy. But in that situation too, and as a girl, I was giving her the analogy of, this is how I think you need to approach men. And I think everybody in general, you need to set a cage, but you need to have the door of the cage open, right? A relationship is, we are together in this cage, right? There's some boundaries around it, but the door's open. If you ever want to leave, fly away. Go ahead. It is what it is. I'm not going to force anybody to be with me. I'm not going to force you to be here. I'm not trying to control your actions. I'm going to leave the door wide open. If you want to leave, the door's right there. And that's how you need to approach men, and especially men. I say this why it to men specifically is because something that we truly value is freedom. So you always want to present everything as a choice, right? You don't want to present things as, I need this, and if you're not that, then goodbye, right? It's like, okay, if you like me and you want to be with me, tell me. But if you want to be single, also tell me. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that because I want you to be happy. Now you've given him choice. Now he's like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me think about this. Let me process that. Let me feel that. And that's how you gain a lot more success. And that's what I'm saying. It's not men specific too. I think that's how you approach women as well, right? We don't want to hold anybody hostage. We don't want somebody that doesn't genuinely want to be with us, that doesn't genuinely want to show up for us because they want to do it. That's inauthentic. And us trying to control the outcome so much, you know what I'm saying? That's not effective. And as I'm trying to tell you, it's like, you're not going to get into a great relationship if you don't have that courage to allow that person to leave if they want to. I think he's into me, but he's my boss. Damn. Shit. That's a tough scenario. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't mix that, but also at the end of the day, like, are you really going to stop? Probably fucking not. Let's be honest. You know, this is some bullshit. Actually, this brings up a topic for me. Like work relationships. Everybody swears that, oh, I would never fuck with somebody at work. If somebody hot at your job really fucked with you and you guys were in alignment and you guys are feeling each other, you're not stopping. The company code ain't stopping you from fucking. Don't say that. Oh, but he's my boss. You like that shit. Let's not even front. Let's not even front. And listen, if I'm your boss, guess what I like? I mean, let's just keep it real. I get it. I know you call HR. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be honest with you. Call HR right now. I don't care. If we're in alignment, I'm shooting my shot. You know what I'm saying? And don't tell me you're not either. Don't fucking lie. Maybe you're one of those fucking hardo pencil pushers, fucking teacher's pet motherfuckers that is going to be a rule follower. Fine. Be that. Don't care. There's a lot of fucking people that were like, fuck the rules. My whole point is, you're saying, I think he's into me, but he's my boss. AKA what you're trying to tell me is you're fucking your boss and you're like, is this really going to go somewhere? I'm going to tell you this. I don't know. Seems unlikely because sometimes that shit gets messy. And whenever you have a relationship that needs to stay a secret, that shit is definitely not good. That usually doesn't turn into a real relationship. Secret relationships don't turn into public ones. The reason that they're fun is because it's a secret. And if it's a secret and then you're agreeing to secrecy, if you're agreeing to being in a secret relationship, you are fucking up your chances for a real relationship. Facts. Keep fucking your boss, because honestly, fuck it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If that's what you want to do, fuck it. Yo, live your fucking life. Listen, I'm not the type to judge. I'm not calling HR. I'm telling you that right. I'm the last one. You got me fucked up. This man calls me my love, my girl, after just one date. Okay. texts me rise and shine every morning and will respond to him. And then I don't hear her back till the next day when he starts over with rise and shine, my love. This is great. Text me daily, but super inconsistent through the day. This shit is funny as fuck. First off, he's calling you my love and my girl after the first date. Do we think that that's real? No, he's fucking just talking his shit. And then he texts you rise and shine, but then he doesn't even follow through when you text him back. And then he texts you rise and shine, my love, the next time. Bro, if that's not the definition of breadcrumbing and a love bomber, then I don't know what is. Like, that's a classic. Like, homie is out here on the water just chucking in bait to the water, and you're just sitting there eating it up every day. He's like, I'm going to give her a little piece of bread today. And she's like, I want that sugar. My whole point is, I don't really know if he's that into you. To be honest, this seems like a person where you will actually never know if he's into you because it's probably going to be so fucking confusing. If I saw this bullshit where it's inconsistent from the jump and you're calling me woo, that sounds like Narcissist Alley. That sounds like Narcissist Central. Get your ass out. Abort mission. But honestly, sounds like he probably has some good dick. He says he likes me, but avoids the question when I ask him to hang out. Well, words and actions, ladies and gentlemen, words and actions. Which one do you want? Do you want words or do you want actions? To me, this one's simple. It's actions over words. He could tell you he likes you all he wants. If he ain't showing up for you, and if he ain't planning a date, if he's not actually seeing you, he don't care. He don't fucking care. But here's the thing though, too. If you've never met up for a first date yet, you do sometimes deal with that like first date resistance. I'm gonna call it first date resistance. If y'all have never met up and it's been hard to meet up, like, yes, he might not be that into you or they might not be that into you, but in reality, they don't really know you and they also don't owe you anything either. So on the flip side of the coin, first date resistance to me is like not a bad thing, right? There's like, for instance, like there's girls that I've talked to, like I'm not joking, where I've like DM'd them like historically for months. Let's just say hypothetically, like little flirty bullshit here and there. And we've never met up. Now, if we actually met up for a first date and it went well, my opinion of you can change drastically. But maybe just like over DMs or just, bullshitting, maybe I just don't really have a lot of incentive to meet up with you. Maybe you're long distance or maybe, I don't know, I just don't really feel like doing it. Maybe I've just been so deep in my work that I just don't really care about taking you on a date yet. So my whole point is, if you've never actually met up for a first date, I think it's still fair game to like keep flirting and keep fucking around until you actually do. But obviously just don't put too much stock into it. And of course they don't know if they like you or not because you've never actually met up. But if you guys are sitting there DMing like crazy and you guys have never actually met up and he just never actually does it, then I would just limit the amount I'm fucking talking to you. I don't want a pen pal. Like a couple DMs here and there is fine. But if you're having full on daily conversations with somebody and not spending any time with them, what the fuck is the point of that? I mean, honestly. And if you're doing that and you want to meet up and you haven't met up yet, your fault. Your fault. Not theirs, your fault. That's on you for putting too much stock into something that isn't real. Your fault. Been friends for years. Started talking about a month ago, but he hasn't asked me out yet. Now, here's the thing about this one. Been friends for years, started talking about a month ago, but he hasn't asked me out yet. When you say started talking about a month ago, does that mean you're talking and you've gone on dates and you've been hanging out, but he just hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend yet? Because to me, I'm saying normal, green flag. That's fine, right? You guys have been talking for a month. Maybe you're not at the point where there's a label yet. I think that's fine. I think there's still patience. I think there's still time. Honestly, I would say girlfriend territory to me is like month 3, month 4, maybe month 5, somewhere in that range. That to me is like, I got enough information to at least know if I want to like, make this official and make fucking moves. Honestly. Should be, honestly, I think you need that amount of time. Seriously, like 4 or 5 months to really fucking know if that person is your person. And it's all about consistency, right? In the actions. Called me every day for 6 weeks initially. Normal in person. See each other once a week, but only calls 3 times a week now. Called me every day for 6 weeks initially. Normal in person. See each other once a week, but only calls 3 times a week now. I'm gonna be honest. Like, calling each other every day when you're in person and seeing each other once a week, to me, that's a lot of upkeep. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need to talk on the phone every single day. And I think a lot of that initial stage of talking to each other, it's like the excitement of talking to each other, but like eventually you hit a point where you don't need to talk on the phone every single day. Now, if it's a complete energy shift and he's not showing up for you, he's not making plans with you anymore, that's when I would say, that's kind of weird. But if it's just the phone calls that are kind of diminishing, but his effort and his energy to make plans with you and to show up for you, and to, like if you called him as well, like he answers, I really don't see a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? The communication is going to die down a little bit, at least a little bit once you guys start to make some progress, but it shouldn't feel like you can't rely on them. You understand what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like not answering me for multiple hours or fucking disappearing. Like it should just be like, okay, I'm going to go to work today. I'll see you later. I'll text you later. Like that's okay. Just communicate where you're going to be. It's more about the quality of the communication. It's not so much how much you communicate, but how well do you communicate? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be all the time, every day, every second, but are we keeping each other in the loop? Are we satisfied with the amount that we're doing it? Do we feel like we're being satiated and do we feel like it's, fulfilling when we do actually talk, right? We don't need to talk forever. If we could have a really good 45-minute, half-hour conversation, that's fire. We don't need 7 hours. We really don't. Check in, cool, great, you're feeling great, perfect, boom. Let me get back into my day. Let me do the things I need to do. And honestly, I'm trying to reserve as much time as I can for in person because that's really where the sauce is, right? That's where really that presence is felt. All right, that is my podcast for today. I hope you guys had a good time. I haven't been feeling the best. I appreciate when you guys support me, even in my down weeks. Send me your remedies, send me your suggestions. I know I'm going to start feeling better very soon. I just kind of got to sort through my feelings with this situation. Maybe it is going to be a boundary and I set it and I forget it and, we move on from there. Or maybe we do attempt to push on further and, see if we can make something happen and maybe come to just a better result of where things are going. But I'm going to keep processing. And, by the way, Breakup Bootcamp is out. Yay! If you're going through some heartbreak and you're going through some real fucking shit, honestly, if your self-worth is just down, you're going through a rejection, please, I'm telling you right now, I spent so much fucking time on that course. It's fucking amazing. It's incredible. You are not going to feel like the same person afterwards. That's a promise. So buy Breakup Bootcamp. And yeah, if you ever want to work with me, like I said, hit the apply button. And I would love to help you in your relationship, but honestly, just really in your life journey. That's really what I'm here for at the end of the day. I appreciate you guys a lot. I love you, and I'll talk to you very soon.